It's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. I am so excited. It's going to be, in a half an hour from now, it's going to be 8 full hours of interviewing amazing people. And I am so lucky because I've got the last interview right here, and I get the amazing Ken McArthur to interview, which I think is just so cool because Ken McArthur is one of those people who I have been a fan of for a very, very long time. He is definitely a very motivational guy, and he is making, and I'm going to say it, he's making an impact. I have to use it. But Ken, you got to tell me a little bit about what you've been doing. You know, I've known you for so long, and I love all the stuff that you do. I mean, I met at one of your Impact. It wasn't called the Impact event. It was called the JV Alert. Actually, was the very first time that we got together. And I love this guy. I got to tell you how we got together. I was doing a mastermind meeting, and I had to post it on Facebook. I'm not on Meetup. Facebook wasn't even around then, I think. And you had called me because you knew I was in charge of this Meetup group, and you said, "Hey, I want to invite everybody in your Meetup group to Impact, to JV Alert." And I thought that was the most brilliant marketing I've ever heard. And in fact, not only that, I went. A bunch of people went. I bought some programs. They bought some programs. But more importantly, and the most important thing that I think happened was that I got to know Ken McArthur, who Joel Comm says is the nicest guy on the internet. I believe he's the nicest guy on the planet. Let's forget about the internet. So tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
Well, it's been 12 hours and not 8 hours, Larry, that you've been doing this. So. Oh
yeah, I'm getting so punch drunk I can't even add it up anymore.
So we just added an extra 4 hours in there for you. You have been always a guy to jump into it, haven't you?
Yeah. I kind of say I'm going to do something, and I do it, right?
and I really enjoy watching you. So ever since the first time that we met, and we actually went out and we met at a coffee place in Doylestown and had a conversation. You probably don't even remember.
Oh no, I actually do. You're right. We met there before. That's right, because you invited me. Right, you invited me to lunch. We went to lunch. Then we talked first. That's right.
Yeah.
And I was pretty excited because here I am. Here's this guy. He's going around doing all these events. And and he's inviting me to lunch. How cool is that? I mean, that's a really cool thing. It really is. It's really neat when you start to meet people who are doing things and they're inviting you out to lunch. I love it. I mean, you guys know. I realize that Ken's nowhere near as. I'm sorry. It was going to come out wrong, so I can't say it. I totally blew what I was about to say. But I've met some really interesting people. Through you, Ken, I've met some interesting people. In fact, I would say that a lot of the thing. I would say that this whole event today really is influenced by Ken McArthur, only because if it wasn't for some of the things you were doing, if it wasn't for some of the people, first of all. I'm going to sit here and just throw accolades at you because here's the other thing too. For those of you who are watching this, you maybe have gotten some invitations to it. You had maybe gotten some emails on it, and all of the other things that have been working. Honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm just doing this all day long. But for days and days and days, Ken has been making sure that this went off without a hitch. And I got to be honest with you. Thank you so much, Ken, because without you, forget it. It never would have been done. Yesterday, and you know as well as I do, and you saw it online, the whole system crashed. Now, I had to spend hours making it work again and figuring out what was wrong with it. In the meantime, there's still emails going out saying, hey, you need to be here. This is when you need to be. He's checking with the guests, making sure that they're going to be here on time. So everything you did made sure this worked. While I'm sitting there trying to make an iPad come on that wouldn't come on, right? or updating iPads because they went to iOS 12 and every single iPad crashed because they all went to iOS 12.
Yeah.
So and you're doing all the heavy lifting while I'm throwing iPads across the room. Now I'm like, so thank you so much again. But I want to talk more about you and what you're doing and the exciting things that are going on in your life, because I heard a rumor that you're making a movie.
Yeah, I am making a movie, and it's a lot of fun. I think probably the best thing I ever did in my life was just to bring a few people together, just like you brought together 24 people that were amazing today, that had things to share, and that could impact each other's lives. And that's what I've been doing for a long, long time, is just bringing amazing people together. And I started out not knowing very much, not knowing anything at all, I think. And for a long time, I didn't tell anybody anything that I thought was true, because I had no idea what the truth was. And over the years, now that I've been doing this for years and years and years, I've got a few truths down that I think are really, really important things. And so I've kind of focused down on those things. And so I'm writing I'm writing a book. I'm producing a movie that's all around what I would, I guess, consider to be whatever my life's work is, and the point of my being, which is really just to tell people how much they make a difference, because I think none of us really have any comprehension of how much difference we make just by existing in the world. That even if we do nothing, we impact thousands of people, and if we actually put together all of the people that we have and work together instead of working apart, and if we used all the art, science, and technology that we have available at our fingertips, that we could have such a huge, huge impact. So I want to tell people how big an impact they have, because it's all those chains of tiny, tiny little things. I mean, there was story after story just of the people that came into this room today that were telling me of things that happened to them because of moments that really didn't mean that much. Donna Serdula was talking about a time that she came to one of my masterminds and how that impacted her life, And, for me, it might have been a passing comment. Oh, yeah, by the way, you could get somebody else to do some of the work that you're doing, that you're killing yourself. But for her, in that moment, it had a big impact, and a big impact 5 years later or whatever. So we all have an impact like that every single day. And every time you encourage somebody, or you give somebody a platform to spread their message, or you give somebody a moment to just shine, or a moment to be human, a moment to cry, or a moment to talk, or just to be heard or listened to, you impact literally millions and millions of people through that simple action. So I'm putting together a movie, or actually a series of 3 movies that actually illustrates that point. I'm really, really excited about that. And for however many days I've got left, I'm just going to spread that message around and help people to get their ideas, products, and services out to millions of people, so that the world can be even better than it already is.
So, I have to tell you, I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. If it wasn't for you, Ken, nothing would be here. And I'm not even talking about your help this week. I'm talking about the fact that you taught me little things along the way that put this whole thing together. I mean, even going to your first JV Alert and having you just bring somebody up on stage and having them speak, and how you introduce them has an influence on how I introduce people today. How the fact that I even introduce people today, the fact that I'm sitting here, the fact that I have all these iPads, the fact that I wanted to make videos, we had talked, my very first show, Money Chat Today, when I did that show in my basement, that was all an influence from you. That became Mark Stars. That became something else, and something else. And now I have this, and now I have this crazy studio. I mean, so some of you have seen it before, but this is the crazy studio now. It's funny because people come in. Yeah, you knew. That was pretty good. So you knew. So when people come in, the first thing they go is like, "Wow." So the picture that you're seeing isn't even showing enough of it to really show the statement that everybody walks in today and they go, "Wow, this is really cool." And again, it's all because Ken, I went to one of Ken's JV Alerts and started off doing that.
Yeah.
I started talking to Ken and started saying, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I bring people into an audience? How do I make this all happen?" And again, thank you so much for your impact. So you made an absolute impact in my life. I think Karen Sachs, right? She's here. She's saying,
hey.
She actually says, "Larry, you had an incredible event today. How perfect to make Ken McArthur as the icing on the cake." We love you, Ken. Now, I have to agree with you, Karen. I actually said that my entire day. I was going, I'm going to save Ken McArthur for last because he's the best, and you always save the best for last, right? So then she goes on and she says, Ken McArthur is the most impactful person I know. He changed my life. To have your life changed, go to Ken's next Impact event, get details. And she's funny; she's got your Impact Livecast link right there. So tell us about the Impact Livecast because we did one, and I know where you're doing that. By the way, There's a really cool place that you're doing that. And the funny part is, I can't even be there. So tell me a little bit about that.
I know. Well, we're doing an Impact Livecast, which is broadcast around the world, live with a multi-camera shoot. And it's going to be done from Investor Schooling Headquarters International, which is right in the suburbs of Philadelphia, Middletown Township or Langhorne, depending where you want to be, but it's really close to Newtown, Pennsylvania. And it's an amazing facility. Actually, going on right now is a whole classroom going on at Investor Schooling, which is Larry's big new school adventure, exciting stuff going on here for people who want to get involved in investing in stock options and also in real estate. And we're taking over the entire place for 2 days in October 26th and October 27th. And we're having two amazing people to do full day workshops. And the first one is going to be Kellen Flukiger.
Yeah, Kellen is amazing. I love that guy. I'm sitting there going, wow, I'm going on a cruise that weekend. And not only am I leaving you with my place, right?
Yeah.
And I'm leaving you in charge of my place, but I'm missing Kellen. And who else am I missing?
And we've got AJ Poyton.
Another amazing guy,
Amazing
right?
people.
You talk to that guy, and it's he's just he's one of the nicest people. He's just so sweet and has such a nice demeanor. But then he's crazy because he goes into a straitjacket.
He's powerful. Those are two people that have just really had a huge impact on people who have come to my events over the years. They've done multiple events over the years. And the problem with the events that we had was that, you just don't get to go into as much depth as those folks can actually provide. So this time we're doing 2 full-day workshops, one with Kellen and one with AJ. And you get a chance to spend the entire day. And both of those people have gone through challenges in their life, just like we've all gone through challenges, but they've really come out on top of those challenges and just done some amazing things, and they can help other people do that too. So if you're interested, it's by invitation only, basically. It's not hard to get an invitation, but they're limited because there's only so much space in this room here.
That's right, correct.
And you want to be
we can only
here
fit
live.
700 people.
Well, I haven't seen you fit 700 people in that room. It's pretty well packed at 30 to 40,
exactly.
something like that.
Yeah, 50 is standing room only.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So
we've done that.
I would limit it too. Yeah, but I would bet that this is going to be an event that's going to be worth like it could literally be worth millions to some people.
Yeah.
What they can get out of it. But a normal event like that would probably be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, something like that.
Those guys in a small group environment like that, the chance to be able to be there in the room for a full day with those folks, it's really priceless. So, if you want to do that, contact me. Just send me a private message on Facebook or an email to Ken at impactlivecast.com and let me know that you want to come, and we'll make it easy.
But I think what's even more interesting is that you're going to be transmitting it also again, right?
Yeah, we're doing a full 2 days of live broadcast, multi-camera broadcast around the world. You'll be able to watch it from anywhere in the world for nothing.
No, you can't give away nothing. I don't like people who give away nothing. Come on, I'm a capitalist.
Yep.
So don't give it away.
But here's the thing: there is nothing like being there in the room with these people.
That's true, right? That's very
There's
true.
nothing like it.
And I was at the last one, and again, I totally agree with you. There's nothing like being in the room, because when you're in the room, it's just something different. Even if it's funny, even if it's exactly the same presentation.
Yeah.
Even if you see a recorded version of an existing presentation, it's not the same.
No, it's not.
When you're there, you get the energy.
and you get to meet all the people and spend time and get to network with those folks. And they're amazing people that come to the event. Plus, I make it dirt cheap. So in this case, we've actually completely blown out the price because I don't want price to be an objective at all. You can have both days for only $97.
That's insane.
And then you can bring a guest on top of that.
That's insane.
So.
No, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
gonna,
going to...
He'll coach me later on how how to price $10,000 events.
I was going to say, my prices keep going up, your prices keep going down. You know, I don't know what that means, but you know, but we need to get you pricing things where people are you know, getting, and frankly, you know, I understand why you're doing it. You're doing it because you really like people and you want to help people, and the rent that I'm charging you is at least $6,000 for the day.
Yeah.
So you have to cover the rent.
So
right?
yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I've done $10,000 masterminds and things like that, and I believe in the value of investing in yourself. So I'm not going to let anybody come to it for free, but anybody can come up with $97 if they really see the value in it. And if you can't see the value in a full day with Kellen and a full day with AJ for $97, you really shouldn't come.
Yeah, no. And frankly, you know, I encourage everyone listening to this, everyone who's on my feed, for $97, you go. Yeah. You don't even give it a second thought. Just go, because at the absolute worst is you spend an hour there and decide you didn't want to go, and you'll be. And I think that won't happen. But you would absolutely love it. I think it would be great. I mean, it has to be great. It really has to be great, because both of those guys are great people. I'd pay $97 just to spend an hour with Ken, and in fact, I have, right? Because you used to do your lunches. Remember?
Yeah,
your lunches,
yeah,
right?
exactly
so
right.
We would have a private lunch with I need a potty. You paid the $97, and we'd have a private lunch, and that was great. It was awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you what made you become what you were? You were working for Pepsi, right? Is that right?
Well, I did work for Pepsi. I used to do forecasting and logistical software for Pepsi. And so I came from a technical background. And then at the start of the .com boom, I actually started building websites.
A website?
Early stuff.
So
Dark ages
so
of
this
the
was
internet.
like 1990 what?
Probably back in 1995, 96, 97.
No one even knew what a website was, right?
Yeah. Well, everybody knew what a website was, and by that time they got the idea that they needed one. They had no idea what to do with one,
sure.
But yeah, they needed them.
Yeah, I remember some of the commercials for people selling websites. I thought they were hysterical too at the time, right? Remember the IBM commercials? People going, you can actually sell stuff on a website. Like, wow. That was one of the commercials. I remember, right?
Exactly.
So you were creating websites for people. You were making you were again like making an impact, right? But you were doing all these things. Then you started doing something else that made you a lot of money real fast. What was that?
I started building websites for myself. So I took the software that we developed, and I did a little joint venture with a guy by the name of Jim Daniels, and we...
That wasn't Jack, right? That wasn't the...
No, it wasn't Jack Daniels, no. It was Jim Daniels, early work-at-home guy, and we took a website to number, in the top 3,000 sites on the Internet.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It was fun.
There was only 3,001 websites then?
No, there were a few more than that.
Teasing,
maybe not as many as now.
Yeah, right. I could imagine. I can't even imagine how many websites there are.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. Like, well, first of all, think about this, right? Think about. I'm going off on a tangent, but I used to always say, imagine what would happen if somebody shut down the internet, right? But then think about this. You want to hear something even scarier?
Yeah.
How can you shut down the internet?
Mm.
So both of those are such scary statements. Imagine what would happen if somebody shut it down, and then the fact that you can't even shut it down.
Well, the whole thing was designed not to shut down in the case of nuclear war. So that was the whole purpose behind the internet to begin with. Was
really? I didn't know that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. The United States government, started developing systems so that if one network went down, the whole network wouldn't go down in the case of nuclear war. So if one city got destroyed, that another city would still be operational and that we could actually communicate with each other. So they developed protocols that became the internet, that allowed us to keep everything up and going. So it was only supposed to be for, in the case of nuclear war at the beginning, and then it was spread to educational uses, and then it was only supposed to be for education. And then somebody said, oh, maybe some ordinary people could get on there too. And then after that, it was like, oh, maybe we could make some money with this stuff. And then they said, well, you shouldn't be making money with this. This is important stuff for the nuclear war and education and stuff like that. And then we saw those patterns over and over again with social media. So it's like, no, you shouldn't use social media for anything but social media.
Yeah, well,
you can't use that for business.
Right. Now, my personal opinion, I mean, I'm a big fan of Facebook.
Yeah.
We're transmitting on Facebook right now, right? So I think Facebook really is going to take over the internet. My belief, we had, remember AOL, right? Everybody remembers AOL. You used to log on to AOL, and that was the internet at first.
They were going to take over the internet.
Right, well, AOL was the internet kind of, because you couldn't get to a web page unless you went through AOL, because that's how you got logged onto the internet, right? First it was AOL, then it was www dot something.
It was bulletin boards, and then it was CompuServe, and then it was AOL.
But CompuServe was still for the select few. AOL was the first one that went to the average person.
Yeah.
So now I believe it's actually going to be the opposite, where you're not going to go on. You're going to go, where it became you went on the internet, and then you went to your different places. Now I think people are going to go to Facebook, and that's going to be their gateway to the internet. Now, what's really happening is Facebook is going to become self-contained. And it really is becoming self-contained right now, because there are business pages on Facebook. There are all these different ways that, Facebook, I really think it's going to take over the world. I think, fortunately and unfortunately, there's going to be regulations for Facebook, because Facebook is going to take over the world. It's going to become Google. It's going to become the internet.
Well, I'll make a prediction for you. I predict that something comes out of the clear blue sky that's not Facebook that takes over the world.
Well, right. So, there's something that will be next that won't be the internet.
Yeah,
right.
It'll just come out of nowhere, So seemingly out of nowhere, but just like everything else, it's built on the small actions of everything that came before you. So we're all built on the actions of things that people did before us. So
you mean somebody had an impact?
Yeah, somebody had an impact, and that had an impact on somebody else, and that had an impact, and it was bigger than you ever imagined.
Right, exactly. I love this stuff. I love hearing people who have really literally made an impact. You made an impact in my life. Thank you so much. You made an impact on so many people's lives, and I know they thank you. You got people on the internet that love you, that know who you are, and I know you're slowing down. You're just tired, right? Everyone's tired, right? So, but I'm sad that you're slowing down. I wish you were doing these JV alerts and doing them every month like you were doing before, because I found them to be so much fun.
Well, who knows what will happen. I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, so I haven't been quite as noisy online. I haven't been talking to people as much, but I still have a few things to say in life. If there's somebody out there listening that has, a couple $1 million that they want to plow into my movie, then let me know right away, and and we'll do some more exciting things. I'm still doing exciting things with Larry Steinhouse. He's certainly impacted my life in lots and lots of ways. That's the way it works, We all have something of value to give each other, and when we work together, we can do so much more than we ever could apart. And so all the people that are on there and listening, and all the people that have popped in today, everybody that my life has touched, they certainly touch me. That's what makes my life worthwhile. If we have no impact in the world, if we have no meaning to life, then what's life for? Life is for the moment. Life is for the people that we're with right now, because so many times we think about the past, whatever impact we had in the past is over, and it's going to reverberate into the future, but we don't have any control over that impact. And we don't have any knowledge that we've got future impact, that we're going to even be around to have more impact. But in this moment, the people that are the most important people in my life are Larry Steinhouse and the people that are on this broadcast, because those are the people that I can have an impact on right now. So
that's right. The next thing about video, again, is that the fact that this can be played over and over and over again, and so it will have an impact on more and more people. We'll get whatever 100 views now, whatever it may be, and then by the end of the week we got a couple of 100 views, and I love that. I love the idea that video moves on, lasts forever. Yeah, right. So today, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put all this stuff up on YouTube too, so people can see it again, and they'll be able to see it all at LarrySteinhouseShow.com. And I have a funny feeling that Ken's going to have a lot to do with that, because I can't do this stuff anymore. I don't have time anymore. So it's really neat, and I'm so fortunate to have you working for me. I mean, I realize you're doing some other things, but it was kind of neat. It was kind of a great relationship where you'd be able to use the office, do things you're doing, and at the same time throw some of the things in that you're doing for me. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's a fantastic, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Way to have an impact.
Yeah, way to have an impact. Yeah, there you go. So we are out of time. So anything that you want to tell the audience before we say goodbye?
You make a difference whether you want to or not. So go out there and make that impact as big as you possibly can. And the way that you can do that is just a simple, kind, encouraging word at the right time. So go out there and have an impact today.
Jocelyn Jones just chimed in and says, "Yay, Papa Bear." And McArthur, and I love it. That's such a great look at him. Doesn't he look like he should be a big teddy bear, right? I mean, another great one would be Chewbacca. So all of those fit perfectly. And that's it, guys. I am done. It is now 8 o'clock, or just about 8 o'clock, and I did it. I did 8 a.m.
Congratulations.
to 8 p.m. Thank you so much.
You did a great job, Larry.
Thank you.
Hope you had a fantastic time.
I had such a good time. In fact, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself tomorrow now, because I had such a good time today. But I'm so excited because I've got some people upstairs, and I don't know if you guys can hear it in the microphone, but we've got a whole class upstairs going on right now, and there's such excitement upstairs. I can't wait to go upstairs and find out what's going on that's so exciting. Anyway, why don't you wave goodbye to the audience?
Bye, everybody.
Take care.